Manchester United have started preliminary talks over a deal to sign Kalvin Phillips for £50 million. Laurie Whitwell and Phil Hay from The Athletic report on this morning. This has been a story that has been building up momentum and pace for a fair amount of time now. Samuel Luckhurst being the first journalist to really report with any substance around Manchester United's interest in the Leeds and England holding midfield player, defensive midfield player in Kalvin Phillips. The article in The Athletic is linked in the description below, so certainly give it a read, certainly take stock around what they are saying. But Man United have started talks. Now, whether you want to look at these as being official talks, whether you want to look at these as being via the intermediary, so not being really serious, that is down to you. But Manchester United are going out of their way now to start these talks to really lay the groundwork to try and bring this player to Manchester United. Now, it hasn't been formally signed off as of now by Erik ten Hag, but Laurie Whitwell has a very different opinion to that of Fabrizio Romano, that this will not be a problem. Ralph is going to back it. It's highly likely that Erik ten Hag will be behind the deal as well. But I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. Kalvin Phillips to Manchester United. How good a deal would this be for the Red Devils and the revolution under Erik ten Hag? What's your thoughts and feelings on the player? Make sure the like button is smashed. You're hitting subscribe and clicking on that bell notification button so you don't miss any content from the Football Terrace. Let's do this. Welcome back, one and all. Kalvin Phillips to Manchester United. It started to motor on forward. Now, the real intriguing part of this transfer story is the fact I'm still seeing people across social media not understand how the transfer process works. So, yes, this has all started via intermediaries. So, the official line from The Athletic, from Laurie Whitwell, is United have begun exploring the prospect via intermediaries of a £50 million deal, although there has been no direct contact between the clubs and none with Phillips either as of now. So there's a lot of people's reaction to this is, well, it's not real then. It's via intermediaries. Nothing is really happening. For me, that's completely and utterly false. All transfers pretty much follow this trend. Clubs reach out to the players and to the potential vendors via intermediaries in the beginning stages. They, the intermediaries who are busy beyond belief right now in the footballing world, they check the player's appetite to come to your club. They seek out and inquire the club's potential wants should the player leave. It isn't official. And the only reason this is done this way is two reasons. One, it always protects the clubs against any kind of quote-unquote tapping up elements. Say Man United directly went to Kalvin Phillips and Leeds weren't happy about it, they could be done for it. It's against the laws of the game. If it's an intermediary who happens to be in the same restaurant as Kalvin Phillips, or Kalvin Phillips's brother or his agent or a representative, there is no harm done. There is no foul. There is no problem with it. What it also does, it gives Manchester United the separation from the situation should Kalvin Phillips say no. Should Leeds say no. Now, we saw, for instance, over January, the complete opposite to this, and a rarity in the modern day transfer world, where Arsenal approached Vlahovic very publicly. They went to the club officially first before doing any other groundwork. They were trying to talk to the agent and getting the deal done, but they made it very public. And that was their approach to try and convince him to join them over Juve, which they were always sort of, they did. They were fighting a losing battle in the end. But that's very much the opposite now to what's done in the transfer market. So first and foremost, I am not surprised to see Man United follow suit. So if you are somebody who's like, well, it's not official because Man United are doing it via intermediaries and it's no, and listen, you'll probably hear Fabrizio tweet about it today and say no official talks. The language is clear. I don't know where you've been for the past 2 years, but no official talks means it is goddamn official. They're just protecting their backsides, especially through the respected and highly credible tier one journalists. But this looks and appears to be a real deal that they're looking at here. Another instance here, which tells you things could motor on forward, is that Kalvin Phillips' contract with Palm Sports Management is set to expire this summer. The Stellar Group, who are one of the biggest agencies in the world, they look after people like Jack Grealish, are leading the race to take him on. The subject is described as being still up in the air, is what they had to motor on and say. There's also a lot of talk around, is the new manager, Erik ten Hag, backing this deal? Now, this was the exact extract from the article in The Athletic, where they say incoming new manager Erik ten Hag will have a major influence over any signings, but it is expected there will be support for an approach for an interim boss, Ralf Rangnick. So the one thing I would say, and that kind of echoes very much what's kind of been said by Fabrizio via the United Stand in the last couple of days, that ten Hag is a possible solution for Man United without a crazy fee like Declan Rice. He is a player that is appreciated by Man United and Ralf Rangnick. However, a move for the player is yet to be discussed with Erik ten Hag. And I don't think that should come as a shock to anybody. That's another reason why Man United are going to do this via intermediaries. This will be a plate that Man United is spinning. I don't expect Man United to... This is going to be the party line with nearly every deal. You're going to hear some journalists, and I'm going to try and say this respectfully, journalists that are not considered tier one by the clubs are clever. They will pick the journalists that are not considered tier one and say, no official approach. Erik ten Hag hasn't signed this off as of yet. We're biding our time. The journalists that are like a tier or so below that, the club won't go to directly. They will seek out their own information. And what you'll probably find is that this deal is a work in progress, that Erik ten Hag has kind of been spoken to, and he's kind of happy for the club to push on forward with it. However, when you sift through all the nonsense, all the PR, all the official takes on in the mainstream media, Man United will be spinning this plate. Man United have begun these talks via an intermediary, which is the stereotypical way, and it will be a case of let's work on this deal while still looking at other options. They're going to wait for Erik ten Hag to come in, but they wouldn't be doing this work now having not spoke to him and having an idea. You know, he gave a comprehensive plan around how he would improve this football club. There is no way in those conversations that transfer targets would not have come up. But of course, there's a long way to go in this deal, because Leeds and Manchester United have a fiery past, and it's okay doing deals for players like Dan James, where Man United are very happy to see them go, etc. Kalvin Phillips leaving Leeds United will be a disappointment for the Leeds United supporters. Him going to Manchester United will feel like an insult to some. So it's something where Leeds are going to want to try and get the best price possible. But at £50 million, what this is quoted to being, this is very much a deal that Man United have to look at. Kalvin Phillips, if we speak about him, the football player, for a moment, has been excellent since he joined Leeds United in the Premier League. Anchoring a midfield in a system that at times really did lack a shape and a structure, really did lack any kind of coherent approach. Yet he was able to orchestrate, protect that back line, and really protect those midfield areas. It is thought that in a better structure, in a better system, which Erik ten Hag is being tasked with bringing back to Manchester United, he is a player that could very much help anchor the midfield, playing either in a double pivot, which we've seen him do at a higher level than where kind of Leeds are, just Premier League. We've seen him do that for England at the Euros, as an example, with Declan Rice, and get the nation to a European final. He also has the ability to play in that single pivot, should Ten Hag opt to play a variation of the 4-3-3, or of course maybe a 4-4-2 diamond, whatever it may be. Listen, I don't think there's much difference in these shapes, really. It's what you do in and out of transition that matters more so than the starting position on the graphic on Sky or BT. But he can play in a couple of positions centrally. A lot of people look at him as being a very good signing, but there is a percentage of Man United fans, and a noisy percentage of that do believe this would be a poor signing, that think this is, Brexit football. There's better options across the continent that we can get, as opposed to a Kalvin Phillips. But remember, this isn't the first time Manchester United have looked at him. towards deadline day last year in the summer of 2021. Man United did make these approaches. They were looking at these things. And of course, just a few weeks ago, the first journalist who kind of broke the news was Samuel Luckhurst, that you said that United have already begun work on a deal for Kalvin Phillips in a valuation between 50 and 60 million pounds. But as I've said, this is the deal that I think is going to motor on forward. This is the deal which I think, really does have some legs. I think this really is a deal that Manchester United want to do. Now, should there be some better options and better, I'll give you an example. Pau Torres was a prime target for Manchester United last summer. Work had already begun this time last year. And then the Rafael Varane deal became plausible, became possible, became a real possibility. So Man United kind of dropped their plans and moved elsewhere. So should a better target or a better player become available, ready to join and attainable, Man United may change their approach. But as of now, this is one of the main deals that United have set their sights on from the off. Now, look, I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on this news. Laurie Whitwell and Phil Hay now confirming that the intermediaries have started work in this deal. Samuel Luckhurst already told us that this deal was in motion a few weeks ago. As confirmed by The Athletic and by Fabrizio Romano, Erik ten Hag was not signed off on this yet, but it is said that he would probably not have an issue with it. Ralf Rangnick is back in the deal coming in. Ralf and Erik ten Hag want to work together on this project at Manchester United. So there seems to be an air of continuity, togetherness in that regard. But this is the Football Terrace. We're about fan opinion. I want yours below right now. So leave me your comments. Make sure you're subscribing and you're clicking on that bell notification button before you leave. But Kalvin Phillips to Manchester United, this could happen. Until next time, my friends, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again very soon. Thank you.